Hello guys, welcome to part 2 of a beautiful ride to Carlisle. I'm pretty much enjoying this game so far, so let's go ahead and continue. Thank you. I have one uncle who used to work for an advertising agency. I guess they did lots of flyers and posters, and some branding design, but he also drew these whimsical little comics for all the relatives. Then he got tired of the advertising business, since he said everything was always on a tight deadline. So, he left the job. But he kept some of his clients and did enough freelance work for them to support himself until he retired. That's inspiring. Would you like to work for an agency like that? I can't say yet. I think it's too early to know. But while I study, it would be great to find a little part-time job to learn how it works in a real job. That's always good. I worked a little as a translator for some storybooks. It was lots of fun. Did you study those languages in the university? You said French and Portuguese. Ah, yes. And how did you decide to choose from? It just happened. There weren't many options. But I've noticed that when you learn a language, the next one becomes easier. I've heard it works even if they're not related. I think it would be fun to pick up something completely different and study it. Like an Asian language? Yes, or even an African one. Yeah, that would be fun. I want to hear you speak in a language like that. Do you speak any other languages? No. Of course we studied a little French in school, but none of us learned much at all. The teacher wasn't that fluent, so it would have taken a lot of independent study. I didn't really have the interest. But now I feel a little differently. If I picked the language myself, I think I'd love to learn one. That's true. What do you like to draw? When I was a child, I of course drew people. Even though I wasn't very good. Fairies and fantasy creatures. I was studying a lot of classic artists, and I realized I really like drawing architecture as well. I like how you can just suggest a detail in something like a wall in the sunlight. You don't have to draw everything you see, and it just looks right regardless. It's a bit like music, where you give a little suggestion of a note, and you hear it forming a harmony with everything else. Yeah. I think it's wonderful. It'd be nice if you work part-time in a design company and see what kind of work you like. Yes, when my semester starts, I'll ask people for advice. Maybe someone could recommend me. Yes. Dina, could you help me? I need to visit the bathroom. Of course. If you can guide me by the hand so I don't bump into anything. Sure, let's go. I think it's incredible that you travel alone like this. Thank you. People are always helpful to me. I usually ask the train attendant to help me or someone who's sitting next to me. Walking with Sharon, Dana realized that she paid attention to everything around her in a different way. She made sure to notice any raised parts on the floor and to open the doors carefully and hold them for Sharon. More than that, she was enjoying herself so much. It felt like life was an adventure again. Sharon held her hand, finding her way along the railing, on the wall, and the windows. It's right here. I'll open the door for you. She looked inside to make sure everything was clean and in order, and then she guided Sharon in. Here's the water, and here's the paper. Thank you. I've traveled so much that's already familiar. I'll wait for you outside. There were so many things she didn't know. She closed the door after Sharon and leaned against the window to watch the forest and hills roll past. She didn't even remember the last time she had felt so alive. The sun shone on her face, and she felt a rush of excitement. She wondered how Sharon felt in the sunlight. It was so warm on her skin. She was sure the other girl enjoyed it as much as she did. After a moment, Sharon opened the door, and Dana took her hand again. Want to take a little walk? Yes. When you arrive, how do you get to your grandparents' place? They will come to the station and wait on the platform, and the train attendant will help me get. They will come to the station and wait on the platform, and the train attendant will help me to go out. That's good. Do you ever forget any of your things here? No, I remember where I put everything, and I go through my backpack before I leave. But people always help me. They'll tell me if I drop something. Good. Tell me about the scenery again. Now it's all forests and fields. I haven't seen a town for at least half an hour. The railway is up on a ridge here, so I can see all the way across. It's very pretty. There are some lakes in the distance. I like how you describe it. Dana found a place where they wouldn't be in other people's way, and they stood there at the window, the sun warm on their faces. She told Sharon what she saw, and the girl listened with a happy smile, opening her eyes for a while to look outside. How does it feel in the sun? It's lovely. And when I look, I really feel something different. Thank you. Just want to take note of nice, wholesome, calming music. It's not often I hear a acoustic guitar. Usually I hear piano in the other stuff I play, but this is the first for me, I think. Very nice. I like traveling on trains. I like the motion. Me too. But with the noise, I can't hear as well. Normally I know what's happening around me. It's disorienting. I guess your hearing is really good. Probably could tell what I'm doing just by listening. Yes. How much do you hear? Everything. Oh, you're amazing. Do you think so? Yeah. For a moment, Dana watched the scenery in quiet, and she took Sharon's hand again. The girl smiled, saying nothing. She seemed content to listen and to enjoy the motion of the train. In fact, she was perhaps the most content girl Dana had ever met. Sharon had her happy little smile. It looked like it came to her so naturally. She was beautiful. Perhaps half an hour went by, and the railroad passing little villages, the fields now changing into grassy hills and moors. Now the scenery is different. There are less houses and fields, and some more open moors. What do they look like? Fields are smooth and neat, since the ground has been clean and plowed. Here there are stones strewn about, and all kinds of little bushes and trees. Looks like it would be a lot of fun to walk there. Sounds like fun. I went to some place around Yorkshire with my parents when I was younger. I don't know where exactly. But I remember how fun it was when you're walking on the path on the moor, and every time you get close to a little bush, a rabbit suddenly darts out. So lovely! And where did they go? They just run to a different bush. Maybe even the next one on the path. And then when you get close, they run again. Sometimes it's more than one. I heard rabbits have really long ears. Yes, it's completely different from other animals. It's difficult to imagine. Sharon lifted her hands to her head, touching her ears. They point almost straight up. They're really soft. I guess it's good when you're a rabbit and you're hiding behind a stone. You should touch one sometime. I'm going to ask my grandparents. And they run really fast, right? Yes, you'd never ever catch one even though they're so small. So my grandfather can't just pick one up for me to touch. He says they come all the time to eat the vegetables in the garden. If he could catch them like that, he wouldn't get his vegetables eaten. True. It must be fun to be a rabbit with so many places to hide. When I was a child, I used to make a cave from pillows and blankets and boxes to hide inside. Me too. Are you sure you don't still do it? You caught me. And what do you do inside? I used to take a little torch in the book. Sometimes I take a cassette player and listen to music, or sing to myself, or daydream. And people give me these little puzzles that you have to take apart. But sometimes I just fall asleep there. Did your parents ever think you were gone? I'm not that small anymore. But maybe once or twice. I fell asleep and my grandmother wondered why I didn't join them for lunch. But they weren't worried. They know me. That's good. And do you have any sisters or brothers? No, I'm the only one. What about you? I have a little sister. She's 13 now. Is it fun to have a little sister? It's great. She likes my drawings. She used to write little books and she would ask me to draw pictures for them. And now? She's at the age where she's busy doing all kinds of things. But she's going to start writing again. I know how it goes. I think so too. Once you get through school and finish your studies, you wake up and remember how you were before. That's so true. I don't have a sister, but I have some friends back home. They always take me along and we go on little trips to nearby towns. We even went to London a few times. And how is London? I imagine it's a very different feel than the towns. I love it. They Couldn't drag me out of the record stores. And there are so many great concerts. I'm sure if I lived there, I could get a really good guitar teacher. It's a bit difficult to find one back home. And the restaurants are great too. Sounds like you wouldn't mind living there for a while. For a while, yes. I hope I will get the chance. I don't really have any relatives there, so it would have to be some other way. And I think it would be a nice period. But then, I'd come back to a smaller place. I just like the sounds of little towns more. There's more nature, right? Yes, and just less noise and less announcements. The sounds are more gentle and interesting. True. I saw a rabbit right now. Lovely. Running in the bushes? This one was just grazing. It must be nice to be surrounded by things you can eat. That's true. That reminds me. Do you want a chocolate bar? Thank you. I have another box of sandwiches. Do you want some? I'm good. It's not a long way to my stop. Thank you. There you go. She had a chair and a chocolate and watched the girl unwrap it. There was something charming about the way she did things. So neatly and gently. Dana opened hers and watched the scenery, glancing at Sharon every now and then. The way she ate was just adorable. Do you like it? I love it. I haven't tasted this one this way. I love it. I haven't tasted this one before. I'll keep the wrapper so my grandparents can find it in the store. Good idea. And how long will you stay with your grandparents? I don't have any plans. A couple of weeks at least. They like having me there. They're always asking when I will come. That's so nice. Do they live in the city? No, it's an hour's drive. We have to go to Keswick to shop instead of Carlisle. That area is fantastic. No wonder you had those lakes there. They say it's really beautiful, and I like the air there. It's so clean. It's not that far from Kendall, so we're going to be in the same area. Actually, it's interesting that he didn't pick you up at my stop. They have relatives in Carlisle, so they're going to use the opportunity to see them too. That makes sense. The scenery changed a bit again, and Dana caught the name of the passing station. It was quite near now. She looked around her to make sure she had everything in her bag. For such a long train ride, she actually didn't want to get off yet. It would have been much more fun to ride all the way there with Sharon. That was Crooklands. What a funny name for a place. It sounds sinister. Like a place from a fantasy story. And you didn't even have time to listen to your audiobook. But it was much better this way. I'll have time for books. True. Red 5 hours gone so fast. Dana glanced at the approaching town, then at her friend. Knowing that she had Sharon's phone number safely in her bag made her feel soft and warm inside. It's going to be my stop soon. For me, it's 1 hour more. I had lots of fun with you. Me too. Thank you for being so nice to me. Of course. You're lovely. Thank you. I hope I didn't bother you too much. You didn't. Dana, can we talk on the phone someday when you're in Kendall? Of course. I will miss you. If you want to come to visit me, I would be happy. And my grandparents would welcome you. That would be wonderful. Watching Sharon, Dana felt so incredibly lonely now that she had to leave her. She suddenly imagined what it would be like to lie in the summer fields with her and listen to wind. Her chest felt tight at the thought. She really didn't want to leave her. She looked at the pale-haired girl, then leaned forward. As before, Sharon felt her come close and made a surprised little expression. So lovely. Dana stood and lowered herself close to Sharon, touching her cheek. The train was slowing down already. Have you ever kissed? No. What does it feel like? Aw, how nice. Have a nice journey. She gave Sharon a last little kiss, leaving her looking just as enchanted as she felt herself. Then she took her bag and ran to the door, jumping out the train just in time before the doors closed. As she watched the train leave, she didn't even try to understand the big things. And her lower lip on her tongue, the only question on her mind was, why hadn't she done that a few hours earlier? The end. Well, that was A Beautiful Ride to Carlisle, a nice, lovely little short visual novel by little Viktoria. And for your first visual novel, that was really nice. Anyways, I give this a nice little score of, yeah, I'll give it a 9. 9 out of 10. It was nice. Wholesome. Cute. Adorable. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If you want to watch the previous video of A Beautiful Ride to Carlisle, please check the playlist down below. And if you want to watch other visual novels, please check my channel down below. And we have a Discord server where you want to talk about visual novels or anime, please take a look at the description for the link. Thank you, and take care.